What is going on, guys? This is going to be the most important video I've made yet. It's going to show you how I went from a 140-pound weak and skinny kid who really couldn't gain any weight to a 220-pound dude that is strong and powerful. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I did from diet, nutrition, exercises to put on my strength, power, and gain my lean muscle mass over time. So let's start this together. So of course we're gonna start with food. Obviously you don't wanna hear this, but 80% of this is going to be nutrition and 20% is going to be exercise. So if you're not prioritizing your nutrition, then you are never gonna put on muscle at the rate that you want, at least lean muscle, and it's gonna be crappy muscle. So I'm a big believer in having the same meals over and over and over again. So my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and my late night snack, and my intra-workout meals are always gonna be very similar because that's what responds best to my body. So pretty much from when I was 140 to now 220, I've been having the same things, just obviously more calories. So when I was 140, I was multiplying my goal body weight by 14 to 16. And those are the desired calories that I'd have during that day. And obviously I'd base this off of percentage and intensity. So now I'm gonna show you everything that I'm eating on a day-to-day basis to put on lean muscle. So pro tip, if you're super skinny and you're saying to yourself, I can't put on weight, I'm not putting on weight, I'm eating everything I can, first of all, you're probably not. You're probably not eating as much as you think. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to drink protein shakes, nutrient-dense foods, have peanut butter and banana sandwiches. These things are absolute unlocks. This is what I did when I was just starting out because I didn't really understand you gotta eat to grow. So make sure you're eating enough calories and your body is going to respond to the surplus of calories in your system. So another pro tip, I do like to weigh myself 3 to 4 times a week just so I'm tracking progress. Like I always say, what gets measured gets improved. Now I'm gonna show you everything that I'm eating. So I like to follow a low FODMAP diet. The vertical diet is something that I absolutely love by Stan Efforting. So we're gonna have jasmine rice as one of our big carb sources. And then I always go with these Dave's Killer Bagels. I like to put whole eggs on these just to get some extra carbs, especially if you're trying to gain weight. Same with their cinnamon raisin bagels. Then I'm gonna have fruit. You can't go wrong with bananas, blueberries, avocado, whether you call it a fruit or a vegetable. I love having these healthy fats in the morning. And then I'm a big fan of Quaker oats. So these are gonna be a great carb source to have early in the morning. They're incredible for your gut health and they're incredible for your overall health. It's a nutrient-dense powerhouse. So I usually have now weighing 220, pretty much 4 servings of this in one sitting. But when I'm just getting started weighing 150, 160, definitely do 2 servings because it does fill you up quick. And we obviously want to eat as much food as possible throughout the day. And then chocolate milk. This is something that is an absolute unlock for people that are trying to get a ton of protein in. Yeah, everyone talks about don't drink your calories, but sometimes you kind of have to if you're not going to get everything in. So this is a great supplement if you don't get it in through whole foods. And then, of course, eggs every single morning. And then I go with this type of peanut butter, which is no seed oils, Teddy's. Then I have my honey, which I believe is a great carb source and gives you a ton of energy throughout the day. And then for protein in breakfast, I had these in snacks. I have my Oikos protein yogurts that I absolutely love. 20 grams of protein per serving. And then my meats are gonna be chicken, 90-10 ground sirloin, bison, which I have prepped in the fridge right now, which I'll show you at lunch. Make sure you're having a heavy focus on, especially at the beginning, tracking your macros and understanding what's going into your body. Because like I always say, what gets measured gets improved. And if you don't know what's going into your system and you don't know what you're burning, then you're not gonna be gaining weight. So this is everything that I suggest to buy, and it's really not even that expensive. So I'm gonna scoop these on. We just whipped up this delicious and magnificently tasty breakfast. It literally took 10 minutes, so we don't wanna complain about time on our journey to weight gain. Only went with 1 English muffin with 3 whole eggs because I did a cup of this, which is 76 grams of carbs, and then bananas and blueberries, which is amazing, mixed with honey. Then I'm gonna do a Greek yogurt and a Slate chocolate milk. This meal right here will set me up for my 2-session day, which is about 5 hours. So if I want to gain weight at this weight right here, 220, I'm gonna have to eat over 4,000 calories. So someone wanting to go from 140 to 160 is going to have to eat a significantly less number. So don't be scared about how much I'm eating. This is only to show you that this is what you do need to eat, even when you weigh 220 pounds. Something that's not talked about as much, but is absolutely crucial for muscle growth, is getting that heart rate up. HIIT training, Metcon training, doing that 3 to 4 times a week along with your compounds and accessories is gonna elicit such a hormonal response and increase testosterone levels throughout your entire body, and I highly recommend doing it for all of you. It's not gonna make you lose gains. It's actually gonna promote hypertrophy. It's gonna promote heart health, which is gonna increase volume you're gonna be able to do in the gym and muscular endurance. So your body's not gonna give out when you're training. So if your heart's active and you're able to withstand a lot more, you're gonna be able to push a lot more weight with a lot more volume, which is gonna lead to more hypertrophy and more strength. I only started doing this about 6 months, and I've seen tremendous benefits in not only my hypertrophy, my lean muscle mass, my strength, my power output, and I cannot even explain to you how important this is. All right, so it's now lunchtime. We have bison and rice, which is the absolute goated meal that I go to for every single lunch. I found that this is just sits super well in my stomach. This is about a 700 to 1,000 calorie meal. As you see here, we got our meal prep. So lunch is a meal that's very tough for me to prep. So like, especially during the day when I have work, training, etc. So I spend an hour on Sunday getting the meals I want, prepping it, weighing it out. And this has been huge for me from going from 140 to 220. We want to get the most out of each and every single day and create that slight edge over everyone else and put on muscle at a fast rate. So you better be prioritizing lunch especially. And then, haven't talked about water intake, but this is another thing, especially if you want to put on weight and gain muscle. This has been huge for me. I recommend just striving for 1 gallon a day, and this is going to help with digestion, hydration, etc. And it's going to allow you to stay hungry while also putting in a ton of calories into your system. All right, so clearly your boy takes his fair share of supplements. Not gonna lie, I've always been a supplement person, and I believe they're incredibly important, especially when you know your body, you know your blood work, you know what needs to go into your body, what you're deficient in, what you can supplement with to increase that deficiency and make it a efficiency, and pretty much whatever it takes to grow muscle and allow for more strength and power. Seriously recommend everyone take, no matter what, if you want to put on muscle, strength, and power. And first and foremost is going to be creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate is something I've taken from 140 to 220 every single day. 5 grams of creatine every single day, intra-workout with my electrolytes. And next we have 100% grass-fed whey protein isolate. You could take a mass gainer. I think there's a lot of clean ones out there, especially from like Transparent Labs. I truly love it. It's super easy on my gut, and I know that I'm gonna be getting 28 grams of protein per serving, because unfortunately, we do come into certain circumstances where we can't get in our protein from nutrient-dense sources like ground bison, ground sirloin, Greek yogurt, whatever. So I love to have this on hand. All right, now I'm gonna show you guys some of my favorite movements that I've done over the years that have really increased my fast twitch muscle fibers and helped so much muscle growth in my body, as well as strength. And that's gonna be the snatch. We're gonna start out with a movement that's extremely power-based, and it's gonna increase fast twitch muscle fibers, which is going to grow your muscle. It's gonna allow you to produce more force, which is going to just turn you into an absolute specimen. So something like the snatch, I would recommend starting with speed work first, so like a speed deadlift, a speed squat, and then get into sort of pulling variations before we get into the full snatch. But this is a movement that I highly recommend to absolutely everyone. You can also start with the dumbbell snatch. So I'm gonna try to hit 225 here, let's see what happens. Just hit 225 back-to-back weeks, absolutely thrilled with that. I've noticed an incredible amount of development in my power and my strength since doing Olympic lifts, and it also increases your overall max strength, absolute strength in all the compounds. Now my favorite movement that we can ever really possibly do is going to be the barbell back squat. The hormonal response is absolutely ridiculous. The same thing goes for back squat, deadlift, and bench. On my journey from 140 to 220, we started out with a lot of hypertrophy reps to build that base at the beginning of my lifting career. Then we switched into strength and then power. Right there we just did 355 for 10 every 3 minutes for 12 minutes. This is something, like I said, that's completely new. It's CrossFit style work. It's a Metcon, so my heart rate's super elevated. My muscular endurance is really getting fatigued. But for someone just starting and wanting to put on size, I highly recommend starting with hypertrophy for like, I'd say 3 to 6 months, and then really switch into the strength stuff. 3 to 5 reps, 3 sets, 3 to 5, or 3 sets of 4 to 6, around that. And that's gonna be where your money's at. Don't worry about going for power and speed until you have that proper base. Now that we've covered all the compounds and the Olympic lifts, my next two favorite accessories for legs are gonna be the Bulgarian split squat. We can either do rear foot elevated or just split stance, one foot in front of the other. And then my other favorite one is gonna be the barbell RDL. We can do those in the high rep ranges, we can do those in the low rep ranges, or we can do those for speed work. So those two exercises are my bread and butter. Will build your posterior chain, which I believe is the key to putting on a ton of mass. And then for the upper body, after the bench press, I love just the strict pull-up. 8 to 12 reps, easy does it. And then we can also, the same exact thing, lower the reps, put more weight on, and then do speed work as well. And then I love push-ups, high volume push-ups, especially as a beginner. You can go in your room every single day, start out with 25 push-ups, or every single night, every single morning, whatever it is. Start with 25, and then in 6 months you'll be hitting 100 a day. You'll build a way bigger chest over time, and your bench will increase. And then I also love alternating dumbbell bench press. This is gonna really isolate the pec, and it's gonna increase stability not only in your shoulder, so it's gonna protect your shoulder a ton. These are things that I've incorporated over the last 6 years, and they have been super beneficial for me. All right, so we just got back from our second session of the day. Had an absolute doozy of a session. Heart rate was high, muscles were pumping, felt absolutely great. I think it's super important to note that success isn't an accident, muscle growth isn't an accident. So make sure that you aren't making excuses in your path to putting on muscle, putting on strength, because this journey is something that's the most rewarding thing you could possibly do. So don't be the person that makes excuses. Reflect, see what you're doing wrong, and adjust. That's the biggest advice that I can give you. Just really take a look from a bird's eye view and really figure out what you need to do to get better. And if something's not working for you, you're not gaining weight, well, maybe you need to bump up the calories that day. Not that difficult. You're plateauing in your lifts. All right, take a step back. Maybe you need a deload week. Maybe your central nervous system is super fatigued. Who knows? Don't get super gloom and doom and make excuses for yourself, because all that's going to do is set you back. So please, 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 I'm begging you, just really look from within and realize this all comes down to you, and you can take yourself to the highest places you want to go, and just don't make excuses. You got this. All right, so for meal number 3, we're going with 2 steaks, zucchini, mushrooms over the steaks, taste absolutely fire, and then sweet potato fries. Gotta eat big to get big, so that's why I'm showing you all my meals, because I'm placing such an emphasis on building muscle. So these steaks probably have like 50 grams of protein combined, and then I'm eating this salad right here. So it's super important to get micronutrients in as well, because if you can't digest the stuff properly, then it's all gonna just kind of be a lot for nothing. So especially me, I had about 2-3 years of stomach problems that I really had no idea what was going on. And I pretty much started eating a lot more micronutrients, tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, kale, whatever. And then I started taking a probiotic. So definitely make sure you're eating your micronutrients when you're eating your meals. You especially want to do that so you can have a great gut to digest all the nutrients that you're going to be eating. So I'm going to devour this meal and then come back to you with the next step. All right, so another huge tip is recovery and mobility every single night. So you're not gonna be able to put on size, strength, whatever it may be, if you're constantly hurt or not able to do the movements that you wanna do without pain. So pretty much every time before I'm about to chill at night, after dinner, after I get some work done, I literally sit in this 90-90 position for 2 minutes. I do it this side, I get into deep ranges, I like work around, find areas that are gonna be gritty, gonna have problems. So I take care of my hips. So that's a huge thing for protecting your lower back. So you can do heavy compounds which elicit the hormonal response that you need to promote hypertrophy and strength. And it's going to be huge for you. So you want to be able to bench, deadlift, and squat. You need to have mobile hips that allow your back to be freed. So usually your hips are controlled by your glute med. So if your glute med and your pelvis is not stable, your quadratus lumborum, which is your muscle that goes from your iliac crest to your 12th rib. So we want to make sure that that muscle is strong, healthy, and mobile. This stuff is very simple. I know you're gonna say that I don't have much time to do this, but this literally can take 10 minutes. And if you prioritize it, you are going to be so much better off, and you will stay in the gym and stay healthy so you can crush your training blocks and you can progress over time and you don't have any setbacks. So next time you're trying to skip mobility because you had a great session at the gym and you're not feeling it today, feel it and do it, because this is a long journey, my friend. You want to be able to stay healthy and strong for a long time, not a year. You want to be strong and healthy for 50 years. So start doing mobility and you will see a ton of gains from it. All right, so now I'm gonna show you the last meal of the night. This is a meal that I think really takes people over the edge and really gets them into that caloric surplus. So definitely capitalize on a late night snack, but don't eat too close to bed because we obviously don't want it to affect sleep quality. So I try to finish my last meal before, pretty much like an hour and a half before bed, because we wanna go to sleep on an empty stomach so we can get into better deep and REM sleep at night. So we're going with a Dave's Cinnamon Raisin Protein Bagel. Love these things. High in protein, good carbohydrates. And then we got Teddy's peanut butter on it. And then we have 2 bison sticks from Dakota Pure Bison. Honey barbecue, absolutely goated. 15 grams of protein per stick. Then we got the 20-gram protein yogurt and a cup of blueberries. And so we're gonna finish off the video here. And like I said, I really hope you got a ton of information from this video. My journey from 140 to 220 has been a process. It has taken years and years and years of self-reflection, looking at what works best for me. So at the end of the day, just step back and focus on you and understand what works best for you. But as I've said throughout this video, eat in a caloric surplus, train hypertrophy for 4 to 6 months to gain a base of lifting when you're first starting out training. Then you can go into strength work, power work, etc. And make sure you hit your mobility work at night. And that is pretty much an unlock in terms of everything, in terms of recovery and mobility. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There's gonna be much more to come. As always, like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.